Exclamation, everybody, and welcome to Star Trek The Next Generation Birth of the Federation, a very old game back in the days when Microprose was still doing things. And I've dug this one out of the old vinyl archive because I remember playing this a while ago, many years ago, and enjoying it quite a bit. It is a real-time strategy game. I guess you could call it a 4X strategy game. It's not real time, I should say. It's turn-based. I keep saying real-time strategy, but it's not. It's a turn-based 4X taking place in the Star Trek universe. This will be the first Star Trek game I have put on the channel. I've been waiting for a very long time to do it. It's one of my favorite franchises, sci-fi franchises that I love. So here's what we're going to do. You'll probably notice that the cursor, actually the cursor is okay right now, but you'll notice that my cursor looks kind of weird probably. That's just due to Windows 7 and this thing. I mean, this worked back on Windows 95. It's a bit of a hack just to get it to work now. I've got a widescreen mod installed on here, so we should have 12, what is it? We should have a 16:9 screen. Hopefully, when all is said and done. So I'm going to do a single player game.
Your game parameters.
And I will leave it on, I believe it's on medium, the difficulty. Difficulty is normal. Okay. I'm going to leave the difficulty on normal. Normally, when I used to play this, I would put it down to easy. But we'll keep it on normal for now. It's a bit of a difficult game, so I'm not really going to probably not going to do that well at it. You can turn on timers if you want to, to make it even more stressful on yourself. I'm going to leave many minor races on there. We'll do a spiral galaxy, and we'll make a large one so that I have a little bit of room to expand before I have the computer just on top of me doing things. We'll leave random events on. The tactical combat we'll leave to manual. You can put it on automatic. It really doesn't matter. Honestly, the best you can do is just keep hitting next turn anyway. So that's the way that rolls. And you've got various different victory conditions. You got domination, vendetta. I never actually played vendetta before. I've always played domination. So that's what we're doing there. And you can start out at various tech levels. Like you can start out early, developed, expanded, advanced, or beginning. Beginning basically means you're still, for the Federation at least, it means you're still in the Sol system, and you haven't even expanded out to that yet. And for the other ones, it's the same thing. It's just it goes the game as it is. If you start out at early, it still takes quite a few turns to really get started. So most of the time I just leave it at early because it's the first couple of runs through it. It's not really that the starting out in the Sol system really doesn't change all that much. You're going to do pretty much the build that they're going to give you with the early setting. That will be that. Let's hit accept. Let's the next one here.
Select galactic power to control.
So you can be any of these galactic powers you want. You can be Romulans, Klingons, Ferengi, Cardassians, or the Federation. I'm going to be the Federation for this playthrough. Now, as I've said in other videos leading up to this, I'm only going to do one playthrough right now, and I'm just going to pick the Federation and do that. At the end of this playthrough, I'll ask for some feedback, and if you kind folks out there decide that you want to see more and you want me to play a different faction, then I will be open to doing that. But for now, I'm just going to do just the one faction. I'm going to play through, win or lose, probably lose, and then that will be that. And then we'll, maybe later on we'll revisit this. But for this point in time, this will be just the way I'm going to do it.
United Federation of Planets.
Alrighty then, and let's hit accept. And here we are. We're into the main game system, the main game map here. You scroll around the map with the arrow keys. It's kind of clunky, but it's the best. It's the best you can do right now. And then everything else is mouse driven for the most part here. So here's the Sol system. This is where we start out. We've got a science vessel and a colony ship. The science vessels are basically your scouts. You send them out looking for races and other places to settle. Now is this that is a regular system actually. Let's grab this guy and have him come up like that. Now he can go all the way out to where this red edge is, and that's as far as he can go. Other ships can only go, like large ships can only go to the green, and medium ships can only go to the yellow. I think the colony ship is just can only go to the yellow here, I think. So that's just something to keep in mind. So science vessel, I'm going to send him off this way. I got to monitor him as he goes, because there are like anomalies and stuff that you can run into that will just wreck your face, so you have to be careful where you go. And the colony ship will leave here for now. I could actually tell the colony ship to start terraforming some of these, but they will take quite a few turns to do, and I'd rather wait until we find a habitable place to stay here. Like this is a white star, and this is probably a blue star. Yep. Okay. So that said, this is just the movement map. If I go into deeper here, we've got the research and technology. Now, unfortunately, one of the major problems with this game is this research screen. It's rather than making a tree structure like any good 4X strategy game would do, they flattened it out, and it's really hard to navigate sometimes to figure out what exactly you want to pump your research into to do things. So like for instance, right now we've got a balance between all these things, like 17%, 16, 16, 17, 17, 17 here. Biotech is currently researching genetics, computers generate data imaging, construction, matter conversion, plasma injection, so on and so forth. So you look at these and you go, well, that doesn't make any sense to me, right? Because like I don't know what any of those means or what they do. So if you go under the tech field database here, then you can see, well, under biotech, here's the thing, like hydroponics, here's your tree basically. And so we're at what, level 2 bionics right now, and so we are, I think we're at level 2, right? Current tech level 2, yeah. So in here, we're at bionics, which means we've got all these things down the bottom here. Automated farms, data banks, university. We've got the Destroyer 2 that we can make, and we can make an Outpost 2, Mark 2. If we research genetics, well, then we get all these things. We get agricultural center and automated farms, upgrades, private farms, data banks, I think this is Starfleet Academy, or Federation Council, sorry, and a university, Type 3 university. Really weird way of navigating it, right? But this like gives you the whole thing. This is kind of a, they took what would be a tree structure and they just kind of really flattened it out. It's kind of hard to navigate a bit. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, well, what if I wanted to just know, like, what do I need for, to get the Federation Council, for instance? Well, you can go to the object database, right? And then here you can see under research, I think, no, Federation Council is under, what is it, under defense, development. Here it is, development, Federation Council. You can see here, in order to build that, you actually need more than just what I just said there. Like you need biotech up to level 3, you need computers up to level 3, construction up to level 3, energy to 3, propulsion to 3, and weapons to 3. So basically you need every research field up to level 3 in order to build a Federation Council. So it's like over in the tech field database, it's only telling you what it's going to be for biotech, but then if I look at, say, computer, and I look at level 3 computer, right? There's Federation Council again. See, it's kind of a weird way of looking at it. It'll drive you nuts after a while, but it is what it is. This is about the worst part of the game right here, is trying to figure out the research tree and stuff. That said, if I go into management here, what I'd like to do is I would like to get more into our propulsion and weapons right now. And less on the biotech and construction. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the computer where it's at, because I want that there, and I want the energy to stay where it's at, so I'm going to lock that. And I want the... yeah, I think that's good. And then we'll take a few percentage points, which I got to... my cursor is just slightly off here, that's why it's kind of weird. So take a few percentage points off of that. Just a few. And we'll lock that guy. And then we'll do the same down here. Get this guy down to maybe 15 or so. And then these guys are at 21 and 20. So that should be good. I've just lowered the biotech thing. I'll have to probably rebalance this at some point later because biotech is still important. It's just, you know, I mean, everything is important. It's just, I want to get some of these going as much as I can. All right. And then you've got your solar system view here. In this case, the only system I've got settled is the Sol system, and this is all the structures that I have available to me to build. So martial law is just basically if your morale goes down, which right now the morale is content. If your morale goes down, this gets your morale back into shape, but takes 5 turns to run. Here's your build queue over here. When you're not building anything, you automatically are trading goods if you have trade routes, which in this case I don't. But eventually you do get trade routes when you make friends and make peace with the other alien races. And if I look under structures here, these are how many structures I currently have. I've got 15 mass replicators of type 2, which gives me 225 industry, 10 automated farms for 345 food, a dilithium refinery. I've got a subspace scanner, which increases my scan range from the Sol system. That's the red and green and yellow bars you saw in the solar system map. And then data banks for intel and energy, for plasma reactors for energy. So intel comes into play once we want to do some espionage, and I believe there should be universities here too, right? Yeah, there's some universities. This is the research, so we have plus 170 research, which goes into the research screen, which I just showed you. And then we've got a Starfleet shipyard here, so we can build all the ships that we need, which we're going to need quite a few here. So if I look at if I look at energy, you see we've got dilithium refinery is powered up. It's got 30 power. This is our energy, how much energy we're producing and how much we're using. We've got a lot of energy left over. These structures, like defense and special structures, take energy. If you turn these off, you're not going to be able to build ships and whatnot. So that's what that's about. I want the subspace scanner turned on. So there we go. So we should get even better, wider scans. And under your production tab here is where you can manage how many people are assigned to each one of these things. Now you can see I've got these data banks here, but I've got nobody assigned to them. So really, even though I have the potential to have, as it said back here, where is it at? I had the potential to have 32 intel, but I actually have none because I don't have anybody assigned to it. Whereas the universities, I've got 34 research where I could have 170 potential. So you gotta manage this a little bit. I've got everybody pumped into, by default, it's got everybody pumped into industry because you want to churn out ships really fast. The more people you put into here, the faster your queue will go through. You can also generate credits. Like I'm generating 86 credits a turn here from Sol system. Those can then go to be able to buy certain things in your queue, which will basically reduces the amount of turns you have to wait for it to 1, and you'll get it the next turn. And then the longer things are building, the less they cost to complete their build, that kind of thing. Now our labor pool is completely assigned right now. If my population goes up, which our max population is 335, so, and we've got a growth rate of 3.1% per turn, hopefully. So that means this population will start to go up a little bit, and then our labor pool will start to increase, and I'll be able to then pump some more guys into research and intelligence. That just takes time at this point to do. And I believe morale, I believe the population growth is also affected by morale too, but I don't remember exactly how. All right, so build list. What we want to do actually some shipbuilding. So I'm gonna need colony ships. So let's get a colony ship going, and let's get another science vessel going, and let's get a troop transport going. So the troop transports are for outpost and starbase construction. The outposts, if I come back out to the solar system view or galaxy view, outposts allow me to push these yellow and green bars out, so that as long as if I put an outpost here, say, then my larger ships will be able to move out a little bit further. Whereas, you know, they'll never be able to move into the red, but they'll always be able to move here, and that will just keep pushing that out. Plus, you use them for defense as well. So I got those queued up. I'm also going to queue up a destroyer while we're at it, just to get some, just in case I run into one of the AI controlled factions here along the way. Sometimes the computer will spawn you practically on top of them, and you have to you'll have to deal with them sooner rather than later. The other thing I haven't looked at yet is the internal security, the intel strength. Right now, this is completely empty because I haven't encountered any of the other factions. What this will allow me to do is to manage my espionage and other things against other factions. Plus, I don't have any strength, any spies yet, so that's why this is empty. And then over here is the relations tab, which will soon have things on it. And as I encounter races and they issue either ultimatums to me or they want to make treaties or other things like that, it'll all go into here, and I can be able to manage those relationships. So that brings you up to speed, and I've done all I can for this turn. I'm getting plus 70 credits per turn, which is nice. So let us begin. All right, and you know, a turn processes, if anything really crazy important happens, it'll pop it up just to let you know, or you can always go into summary here and just see your events and your relationships, the relationships that you know about and the systems that you have. This is just the view of what's going on. They have enough food and all that stuff. Oh, your population also grows based on how much food you're producing. That's the other aspect of it. All right, so this system here looks like it's got a Y-class, 2 Y-class planets, and a G-class planet. And these have plus 25% energy on them. And then we got a couple P-class planets and I think that's a B-class gas giant. I think that's a B, I think. So, just like in the game of Star Trek, you've got your, what do they call them? Menshara class or M-class planets. Those are capable of supporting human life or humanoid life without any terraforming. And then you've got all the other letters around it. So the closer you are to the M-class planet, the quicker the planet will be terraformed. The further away you are from the letter M, the longer it takes to terraform that particular planet type. So you got like M, and I think there's L class. L doesn't take too long to get back up to an M, those kinds of things. And how many, you don't have to colonize, you don't have to terraform all the planets. You can just terraform 1 or 2 and then colonize them. Or you can, you know, I usually tend to terraform them all because I want to get the maximum population I can out of a system usually. So these are interesting, but not really blowing my skirt up just yet. What I could do is I could actually have it looks like there's a ship down here. There's 3 unknown ships. So that's probably some other faction. So we gotta be careful here. I'm gonna take my colony ship and I'm gonna move him down here just to take a little peek at what this system is, hopefully without losing him. I really should use my science vessel for that, but you know, that is the way things are. This is an orange star. Okay, let's redirect him this way for now, just to see what's going on, what's in the immediate area that I can go after. All right, next turn. Okay, what did you get? So this is here's an L class, so that won't take too long to It's jungle world, so it wouldn't take very long to, terraform. And it's got plus 20% food, and then a G-class planet, and then a gas giant that I can't read the letter of. It's too dark. I can't see it. But there you go. This is actually a good place to probably settle down. This is the Cestus system. They do use the names of actual systems that Star Trek used, so you'll see as we go along. You'll recognize some of the names. Cestus 2 here, and actually Cestus 2 was a colonized planet in the Star Trek world, so they tried to be as accurate as they could, and they got quite good at it. And this one has Shirala. Shire Alea has got 4 Y-class planets, so those are going to take some time. They're all volcanic. Those will take some time to actually terraform. So we're going to send our colony ship up to Cestus here and start doing some work up there, I think. And I'm going to send my science vessel up here, and then I'll have them go back down and find out who these mysterious vessels are down here. So let's do that. Alright, Erebus, what do you have? You are mostly J-class planets with a G-class, and they're all barren and nothing really special going on there, so not high on the list. Now, here's where I say you have to be very careful, because you look at this over here and you're like, oh, I could just, what is that over there? Well, that is a neutron star that will destroy your ship as soon as you go in it. So that's why you got to make sure that if you're sending your ship off like 20 paces ahead of yourself, that you always constantly keep an eye on it, because they will just blindly fly into there and get destroyed. So you have to be careful. There's also some more vessels down here. I guess we're going to have some sort of encounter probably. So let's see what's going on there. All right. Okay, Akamar. Klingon ships. Oh boy. Oh boy. Federation and minor race ships. Alright, so this is the Akamarian, so this might be Klingon space. Well, no, it would be red if it was Klingon space, so they must not have attacked it yet. But let's hail.
A task force has been destroyed.
Oh.
Alien culture has been discovered.
Oh, they destroyed me.
Wish to preserve their social structure. We must take steps to ensure that they can.
Wow, the Klingons just blew me out of the water there. Jeez Louise. They destroyed my ship already. The Akamarians are advanced technologically, but their society is based on a clan structure whose details are of great social and political importance to them. Most of these clans coexist peacefully on the homeworld, but some have taken to life in space. These vagabond clans are known as the Gatherers, and the conflicts between them and the clans of the homeworld are often violent. If I'm not mistaken, these guys were from season 2 of The Next Generation. I believe it was one of the season 2, I think, or maybe 3.
Alien culture has been discovered.
Greetings from the Klingon Empire. We are a race of warriors, and if you do not wish us to prove it to you, we advise you to stay out of our way.
Or you'll just destroy me without even giving me a greeting. The Klingons are a proud warrior race whose traditions of honor and courage are strongly upheld. Their society is imperialist and authoritarian. It's not that hard of a word. Authoritarian in nature. In Klingon society, power is held by great warriors, regardless of their capabilities as statesmen. Klingons expand their territory primarily by conquest, but they have occasionally made successes in diplomatic maneuvers. And they are not really being very diplomatic this time around. Freaking wrecked my face. I am assuming these are Klingon ships down here then, probably. So when is my... So I have a colony ship that's 2 turns remaining on. I really need another science vessel, so I'm going to buy this guy just to get it done. I think it's 280 credits. Yeah, sure. Let's just buy that
Purchase ordered.
colony ship just so it's done and we can get the science vessel started up. Our population is now maxed out in the Sol system. Let me see what that looks like for our production here. So we've got intelligence going on. I'm just going to take 1 out of intelligence here. I'm going to put him down into research. because we need to research faster than we need that, I think, at this point. And how is our food? We've got plus 22 food. I could probably take one out of this, right? Nope, that takes it down to 13. Okay, never mind. Never mind. That's got to stay right where it's at. All right. And I guess, well, energy could come down. Yeah, because we've got plenty. We're making plenty of energy right now. So we'll just take that down 2 notches and put that into the research. And since we have intelligence gatherers now, we're going to go over to the intelligence screen. And we see the Klingons here. Since they're the only ones we've found yet. Our intel strength is only 16, so we can't do much. And what happens is you have espionage and counter-espionage and counter-sabotage as well. So you've got, by default, everybody goes into internal security, so that's at 100%. And that helps to protect me against the other factions sabotaging and or espionaging my stuff. And then I have to dip into that in order to do the actual espionage and all that stuff. So it's like yeah, you know, what I said earlier. And then down here, I can specify what type of espionage and or sabotage I want to do. Do I want to look at their military? Do I want to look at their economy? Do I want to look at science? Or do I just want to do general, just get me anything you can? At this point, I would like to know how the Klingons are doing militarily, because everything else doesn't really matter to them. Actually, you know, science probably too. So I'm not going to sabotage anything, but I am going to get some espionage going on here. Drop internal security down to about 50%. Let's try that. Oh, it's sensitive. All right, 49%. That's fine. And then if any reports come in, I'll get them in here. I'll be able to see what they are, and then I'll be able to see what the Empire status is. Which right now this is just an estimate based on what we know. So it looks like the Klingons are at like 43% economy. We're about even in science, and the military is like maxed out as always, and they are content, whereas my morale is apathetic, probably because I just lost a ship at a disastrous first contact. And how many minor races we found. This is all like estimates, and eventually you'll get like real numbers once you get some espionage done. It's a surprisingly detailed game for being relatively overlooked as far as gamers were concerned back in the day.